We're glad you're here with us. If you'll take a moment to sign in using the bit.ly that's been shared on the screen and has also been included within our chat. That would be bit.ly/CMS TIFAC sign in, SIGNIN. If you are in need of interpretation services on this evening's call, you can select live interpretation available. From there, you'll choose your interpretation language. In the drop down, you'll choose English or Spanish, and you'll be able to adjust the balance and volume of the interpretation on this evening's call. Once that's all set up, hit save and you'll be prepared to go. And we want to hear from you, families. We are excited to connect and engage with you. So we encourage you to share your thoughts using the chat feature, providing any reactions. We do ask that you stay muted when not speaking, just for background noise, but we will have opportunities for you to unmute, ask questions, and engage with our fabulous presenters this evening. And just a reminder, an overview of the roles of our advisory committee. Within Title I Advisory, our goal is to ensure that our families are aware of the Title I grant services for family engagement. We have this year reviewed Title I engagement policy, SPENG. We've provided input for future Family Academy sessions, proposed new ideas for fostering family engagement based on feedback from this group. And we continue to share resources with our community to ensure that everyone is aware of all of the awesome things available to continue to guide this work within CMS. And at this time, I'm excited to turn it over to our CMS Digital Learning and Library Services team, who is going to provide us more information on summer learning and digital resources.
Hello, everybody. I'm so sorry. Hello, everybody. I'm Kim Ray, Director of Digital Learning and Library Services. I wasn't really sure because I missed the first part of the run of show. And Dr. Daquita Pounds and Trish Cloud is our Digital Innovation Coordinator. Dr. Pounds is our Digital Innovation Specialist, and they will be sharing lots of great information with you this evening.
Good evening, everyone. We are so excited to be here with you. We are half of the Digital Learning and Library Services team, and myself and Trish, we do focus on the digital learning aspect. So we are really excited to be here today, and our goal for this time together is to help empower parents and families to help students stay creative over the summer and continue to exercise those reading muscles. And we want to show you guys a few free district-approved tools that we think you'll find helpful during this time and during this summer. So we're going to start by going over exactly where to find everything. These will be resources that you can access from your personal device. And Trish is driving. She is going to pull it up so we can show you in real time exactly how to access these things. All right, so we are all familiar with the CMS homepage, so that's cmsk12.org. And from there, you're going to go under Families on the CMS page, and you're going to locate the Family Portal. And once there, you're going to click General Pre-K-12 Resources. So you're going to scroll down and you see the blue section with the green ABC blocks, General Pre-K through 12 Resources. And once that page loads, you're going to scroll down and look for the blue computer, and that is the Digital Learning and Library Sources area. This is where you want to be. And I believe the first resource that we'd like to show you is the Summer Reading with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Library. So this is a fantastic opportunity for students to continue reading this summer. Their theme this summer is A Universe of Stories. More information from the library will be sent home within the next month. So please make sure that you are staying on top of your communication with your schools, your teachers, and of course, you can do that through Parent Square as well as email. The program, got a little more about the summer reading. The program is an annual summer reading challenge. And you can also get to one access. So this is where you'll want to use your student's ID number and their library card. So no physical card will be needed for the summer reading program. And of course, the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Library is fantastic with their incentives. If you mention logging your reading hours to the library, they will provide prizes as well as community recognition. The second platform that we would like to remind you guys about is Sora. This is your digital bookshelf. So this is a student version of Libby. It provides ebooks as well as audiobooks, and you get access to thousands of titles that have been approved by the CMS Library Services team. One tip is that the students can add the Charlotte-Mecklenburg County Library to Sora to see even more books available in a single app. And let's talk briefly about some of the advantages to the summer program. They don't have any late fees. So if your students are anything like my children, when they find a book they like, they love it, they want to read it over and over and over again. So one advantage is that they will not have any late fees if they decide to keep the book a little longer. And the books will return themselves automatically. So that takes some of the stress and some of the pressure off of you as parents to keep up with that tangible book that your students are reading. And quickly, we want to make sure that you know how to access Sora. This also can be found on the DLLS page, which Trish showed us just a moment ago. Next up are two of our favorites, and actually,
better say something. Hang on. Call back at 4:45.
next up are two of our favorites, and those are Canva and Adobe Express. If you are unfamiliar with these programs, I will give you a brief overview of each one. They are absolutely fantastic and amazing. Canva is awesome for posters, presentations, and even editing photos from a summer vacation. So a quick idea that you could do is you could send students on a scavenger hunt. You could have them capture the activities that they've done from the day and have them create a presentation that you can share with family, with friends, or maybe depending on the age, they can even put it together and present it to you for some of those summer incentives. Adobe Express is excellent for quick video creation and for professional looking graphics as well. One thing that I think is really special about Adobe Express is their ability to animate characters. So your students could essentially have a scene and they could create their own version of like an audio story where they create the script, they pick the characters, and they help the characters narrate some of the script that they provide to Adobe Express. So these tools build digital literacy, and it's not just about consuming content, but with these two particular apps, the students are actually creating it, which is a skill that is very beneficial for them no matter what grade they're in, no matter what grade they're going to. But this is sure to keep their attention and their excitement this summer. So to access these, we're going to pull it up from the digital learning. Trish, let me know if I'm going too fast. Okay. From the same page, after you go to the CMS K-12 and you click on the family resources, you're actually going to scroll past our digital learning and library resources and scroll all the way down to technology and AI for families. So once you click here, you will go to device support. And you'll scroll down, and this is where you will be able to click on the CMS Launchpad Access. So the beautiful part about accessing the Launchpad from this way, or the beautiful part about using the Launchpad period, is that you do not have to remember multiple passwords and usernames. When the student goes to the CMS Launchpad Access, they will enter their CMS credentials, and they will be able to access Canva, Adobe Express, as well as Sora. So multiple ways for you to get to the information and multiple ways for you to get to the content to support their learning and their engagement over the summer. And those are two of my favorites. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Trish so she can talk about one of her favorites.
Okay, good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here. And Daquita has done a great job covering everything else, but I'm going to touch on Minecraft education. Every CMS student and teacher in the district has access to Minecraft Education Edition. This is provided free of charge because it is part of our Microsoft agreement that we have with Microsoft. So your kids can go into a safe environment in Minecraft to where they can create and learn coding and learn all kinds of things about the weather or about digital citizenship or all kinds of things. They can learn it in Minecraft, or they can just let their imaginations flow and build and create and see what kind of wonderful machines and things they can come up with in Minecraft. However, the way of getting to Minecraft is a little bit different. So for our students, if you have not already downloaded this on a device you have at home, then the easy way to do this is from your browser, you're going to go to education.minecraft.net. And once you have done that, there's a red button there that says download Minecraft, and that's all you have to do. And once they have downloaded Minecraft, or once you have downloaded it, you will get the app on your computer, whether it's Mac or Windows based. It doesn't make a difference. It works on both machines. There is an app if you're using a tablet or an Android phone. The app is available from the Google Play Store. If you are on an iPad or an iPhone, the app is available from the App Store. Once you get it downloaded, once it loads, they will have to log in. To log in, they will need their student ID number, and they will type in the information of their student ID number at cms.k12.nc.us. Now they have this memorized. Most of them should have this memorized or written down somewhere, because it is the same credentials they use to log into their Chromebooks or get into any of their accounts in CMS. And once they've downloaded, they can hit play and they can see what all is available for them there. From here, there is the library. So moms and dads, you can go in here and find build challenges for them. You could have them say, today we're going to work on some science. Go see what you can construct in science. or art and design. There are a ton of different resources here for students to choose from, and or they can just start a brand new world on their own. And this is a case where you don't need to worry about people connecting with them that you don't know, because the only people who can get into this game are students and faculty of CMS. So strangers can't connect with them, and they would be able to play in a safe environment. Finally, the last thing I'd like to talk to you about is, and thank you for your patience as I switch between screens repeatedly. From here, one thing you might do to support your child's learning at home this summer is make them a summer checklist. We've just created one here using Canva, and you can have their morning chores and then their afternoon chores. And in the morning, you could have them be creative or read a book. Here we put down read a book for 20 minutes, play outdoors, because it is very important that they're spending some time outdoors, and be creative for 20 minutes. After that, if you just take the time to spend some time with them and ask them questions, ask them, tell me about what you read today. Tell me about what you created today. Show me what you created today. Or how about, show me what you built in Minecraft. And for most kids, if you just tell them to show you what they created in Minecraft, you will not be able to get them to stop talking, because when they get in Minecraft and start building and accomplishing, students love to brag on their creations. And so this is a great opportunity to do that. And this is a QR code that if you would like to, you can scan this QR code and it will take you to a copy of this summer checklist that you can use for yourself. Or you can use this Canva link that's listed down here. But this is, we just made it up and just thought we would add it so that you could have a chance to do these things with your student too. We hope that you've enjoyed this, and we hope that if you have any questions, you get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to answer your questions and do whatever you need to give your student lots of things to stay engaged and creative and exercising their brain this summer. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And families, if you have any questions at this time, we do invite you to unmute or add them to the chat. We do have one question. What are the credentials to use the Minecraft app? Again, how do students log in this summer when they're using that at home?
They type in their student ID at cms.k12.nc.us. Their password defaults to their student ID, their date of birth, and that would be year, so the year they were born, month, day. So say they were born on July the 4th of 2002, we would say 2002-07-04. And some students have changed their password. Your student should know their password. You might want to find out if they know their password now. And if they don't know their password, you can contact their teacher. Their teacher will know their password, but you will need to know their password for their Launchpad and for getting into Minecraft this summer.
Wonderful. So it's their student ID number at cms.k12.nc.us, as well as their password, which could be their date of birth or the updated password, correct?
Correct. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm just adding it to the chat, so I wanted to make sure I had that all ready to go. Families, are there any additional questions for our digital learning team?
I'm sorry I came late. This is Karen Harris, and I was just going to ask, When does the actual date for the launching of this, the Minecraft, or can they do it now? How does that work?
They can do it now. It's available. They've had it. A lot of schools don't turn it on because it can be distracting for some students, but we do have some schools that will allow us to turn it on because they're using it for a special project. But it is always available to students to use at home. So if you go to education.minecraft.net and just click download, you can download the app now and they can start playing now.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did we have any additional questions? I thought I saw one other person unmute, so I just want to make sure to give that space. Families, if you do have additional questions, feel free to add them into the Q&A or the chat, and we will have an additional questions section. We are excited to continue this evening with our Spotlight Principal. This evening, we'll be joined by Principal Transgrud from Oaklawn Language Academy, who's going to be sharing with us some end-of-year back-to-school practices. So if you end of year getting ready for summer practices. Sorry about that. So families, if you have any questions about the end of the year throughout this time, feel free to add those to the chat as well, or unmute to have that direct conversations. Principal Transgrud, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All righty, families. We're going to get started with a few questions this evening, really about those end of year practices. So as we're preparing for the end of the year, are there any milestones or important dates that our families should be aware of?
Yeah, so I would say if you have students in grades 3 through 8, the biggest upcoming piece is the end of grade or the EOG assessments. Those begin May 28th. The specific dates change school to school. I know my school starts right at the beginning because we have elementary and middle. Some schools, wait until the next week, but that would be, I think, the biggest one. And then next week is mid-quarter for fourth quarter. So just making sure you're checking over your child's grades and Infinite Campus would be another thing, just to make sure there aren't missing assignments so they have plenty of time to make it up.
Wonderful. Very true. That mid time of the final quarter is definitely key and go time for our families. And with that in mind, when should our families expect to receive some of those assessment results? We know we have the EOGs, EOCs, DIBELS reports going home. When should they be on the lookout for some of those final grades?
So that also varies school to school depending on assessments. So I don't know specifics, but I would say June, at the beginning of June, we send out our unofficial EOG results on paper to parents. We print those out because we are able to retest this year. So then parents need to know, does their child need to retest? Are they all set for the year? So I would say at the end of May and beginning of June. And then report cards, same thing. Like last day of school, we send ours home with students and notebooks, and that has all the DIBELS reports, M-class, things that it has a parent report, and so things they can do with their children over the summer based on where their students ended up.
Absolutely. That's great. That way we know exactly where your student's working and what those key pieces to continue working over the summer on are. So families, be on the lookout in June. There will be a lot of information coming your way, but it's definitely great information you'll want to see. And as we're thinking about that end of the year, what advice would you give to our parents to ensure their scholar feels confident and prepared for those end of year assessments?
So a huge piece is just building your students' confidence up. We have helped them get all the skills they need. We've been working on test taking strategies of, thinking about what the best choice is, and then, Xing out some of those answers and going back to the text and finding the answer. Not all the answers are in there. Some are inference questions, but a lot of them are cited right in the text. So always making sure they're underlining and annotating the test, but just building their confidence. It's a lot, especially if it's a 3rd or 4th grader, and just tell them, pace it out, take their time, they've got this. So you being an active cheerleader or motivating them is half the battle.
Very true. And what summer learning materials might our students be coming home with? After those assessments, as we know, we'll get a lot of information, but are there any specific materials families should be on the lookout for to continue that learning at home?
So we always send the math workbooks home. Those always have additional pages that can be worked on over the summer. The younger K2 students come home with decodables, little reading books, so they can continue their practice over the summer. My school does Spanish, so we send home the Spanish books too, so they've got the literacy, or if your child goes to another language academy, I'm sure books will be coming home in that language as well. So we just send home a lot of those materials, but math and literacy would be the biggest pieces.
Absolutely. And that's in addition to all of those great digital resources that the media services team was sharing about earlier in the call. So be on the lookout for
Absolutely.
some of those handheld books, and then we'll have all of those digital resources as well. But I love hearing that the little books get to go home from our skills block, our decodable readers, our math books, lots of great hands-on learning for our families. And so during that time, we know in summer families have a lot on their plate. They can use those materials, but is there anything else you might recommend as they get ready for the upcoming grade level that our families should focus on, look into, or just time to build into their schedule?
Yes, so I second the summer reading program. I have utilized that for years for my own children. Another fun fact that maybe a lot of people don't know is at Barnes and Noble. If you live by one, there's one up like in Birkdale in the Huntersville area, and then there's one in Concord and one down south. They actually give books away too. So if you read 8 books and fill out, they have a paper online and actually in the store. And if you fill out, a sentence that you liked about the book and the author and the title, they have a selection of books that you get for free. So that's really cool. Some of the best research is, to help your child out is helping them be a better reader. So the more they read, the better they achieve. So reading would be my number one for the summer. Something that I also have always told when I was a teacher and even as a principal now, a huge piece for families is having that quality time together, so being social together. But the sneaky thing is you can play board games together, and those have so many skills to learn different things. So, for example, there's the game Payday. And so you're going through, it's a board game, and you go through and you're collecting money. You have to pay allowance, you have to pay a grocery bill, and then you get bills. And so then you have to pay that before the end of the month. So it teaches them math skills, but also you're interacting with each other and having a good time. There's the headband game where you've got a word here and people have to describe what your word is. If it's tomato, it's red, it's a fruit, even though a lot of people call it a vegetable. And so then you're guessing what it is. Those are building language skills, but you're having fun and making connections. So that's a huge piece that I always encourage people, even during the year, is play board games together. If you've got older kids, strategy board games are good. Settlers of Catan and other games. Those can last 30 minutes to an hour, and that builds those critical thinking skills.
Absolutely. Board games, what a great suggestion. And what fun family time while working on language skills, math skills, even just that social interaction skills. I love that idea. And then as we go ahead.
I was going to say one more idea that's not as fun is the summer bridge book. You can buy those, and that has all of the different subjects in it. So you could do that. Another thing that helps with reading too and building background is if you can, go to museums, have experiences. Those help build background for students. So when they're coming across new things, they already have access to it and can build off of that idea. We do that with our field trips. We align everything to our curriculum so that it just builds off of what they're learning.
Absolutely.
I have endless ideas.
I mean, I love it because it's the fun, realistic, while not feeling like we're sitting in school during our summertime. I know for museums, certain banks offer free entry on certain days of the week or certain days of the month. And I believe Mint Museum also has some free open hours as well. So families, if that's something you're into, definitely check out some of those opportunities. And then as we just approach the end of the year, prepare for the upcoming year, what do you recommend for our families to continue to partner with our schools during this time?
So yeah, reach out to your child's teachers, see how you could continue helping your child. I know a lot of schools have sent home reports after testing about a month ago to say, here are some things you could work on with your child. Those are all good ways, but also I know all schools, if they haven't already, are going to be asking for proctors for the EOGs. So that's another person in the classroom because we have to have 2 people at all times, a test administrator and a proctor. It's a good way to get your steps in for the day. It's kind of boring, but you can make lists in your head, but that is a huge need that helps us knock out testing quicker if we have a lot of volunteers. So if you're able to volunteer in school, that's a huge piece of how to help. Volunteering toward the end of the year, like see if the teacher needs help taking down bulletin board stuff, things like that. But yeah, any last minute ways that you could possibly help your kid, your child's teacher would probably be able to direct you to something. I usually just pick like 1 or 2 things, depending on the grade level. I know like 2nd grade just finished time and money. So that could be something, if you have a 2nd grader, it's like, oh, work on counting change with them. I always try and give parents something that's, or cooking if you're working on fractions. And so have them cook with you. So reach out to see, hey, what's the best move I can do to help my child, finish up for the end of the year and help you.
Absolutely. And those are great real examples of things that our families are already doing, and that they can just incorporate together and have some of those conversations and skill builder moments.
Yeah, we'll handle the complicated stuff at school because I know I had to learn. I have a 5th grader. I had to learn it's in Spanish Grand Siete, the Grand 7, and for long division instead of just the algorithm I learned when I was a kid. So, it is hard. So I try and break it down and figure out things that parents can help me without stressing them out.
Absolutely, because we know it takes a village, and sometimes that new math is a little intimidating, but at the end of the day, it's still the math that we know and love. It just looks and is packaged slightly differently, but we still have that real world application in the same format.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your engagement. Families, do you have any additional questions that you would like to ask our Spotlight Principal this evening? Any wonderings as we're approaching that end of the year and summer break? All righty. Thank you again so much for your engagement and your thoughtful answers. I know I am going to go find this game Payday and start playing it at home because that sounds fabulous.
It's fun.
It sounds like it.
I have a game for every skill that you would ever want to know. So that's what I used to put like in my conference forms too. But Payday's a lot of fun.
Oh my goodness, that sounds great. I'm going to have to maybe follow up with you on that list to get to our families as well, because that is just perfect. Not only are you getting that community with your family, but also those skills. So I love these ideas. I love hearing all the different ways that we can engage virtually to continue learning at home, engage in person with our families. So thank you so much for sharing all of those different ideas.
Welcome.
Now, families, if you have any additional questions that pop into your mind, feel free to unmute or add them to the chat as I share just a few remaining resources. What I did want to take a moment to highlight is our CMS Family Academy. We have 2 more sessions. This is our family-facing information sessions. If you have missed any sessions this year or were unable to attend, an easy way to review those is going straight into the CMS k12.org/Family Academy, and you can check out our on-demand library. Here, all of our different videos and recordings have been added. So maybe you weren't able to see Planning for the Future with CFNC or learning all about MVPA. You can come easily and watch those videos on demand at a time that's convenient for you. We also have our CMS Family Portal, which has been what was highlighted by our digital learning team as well. All of our resources are based by grade level or department for families to easily be able to find. As we're approaching that end of the year, feel free to drop any of those check out any of those assessments, and I will add those links into the chat as well. I also see we have one question. Has CMS issued out information about summer camp yet? The website says in April, but I have not seen any information come home from schools. I'm not sure if the invites have gone out to families at this time for any Camp CMS principal transferred. Are you aware of any timelines with that?
I was looking right now because they just talked about that in our principal meeting. So I was looking it up on my other screen. So schools, their select categories this year through reading and math in different grade levels. And this week, schools are picking someone in order to select students. It says printed letter will be sent home with students May 8th. And then it says May 8th through May 29th, parents score phone calls and text messages to select families.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then,
go
yep,
ahead.
no problem. And it says Camp CMS brochure will be delivered to schools May 8th. So I would visit your school that week to see if you can get a brochure, but they are selecting students based on data criteria.
Perfect. So the assessment results, the data of the student will guide that selection, and families will be notified on May 8th.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. For Family Academy, just to keep on going, and families, please feel free to unmute or add any additional questions. We are here for you. We will have 2 remaining sessions. This is our last week of Family Academy for the year because we know that so much starts going on in May. So tomorrow, if you're able to join us at 9 a.m., we will be having a coffee chat with SECU, the State Employees Credit Union, focused on saving for college with SECU. So that'll be some great information about some resources to support families with saving for that next big milestone after our K-12 time. And then on Thursday, we will have Together We Grow, a Dibbles and iReady assessment end of year overview. So during this session, we will have our learning and teaching team joining us who will review not only the assessment reports that go home, but also where those resources are to continue navigating and growing once you receive those reports. So 2 great sessions to end our year. And as shared, if you're unable to join us at these sessions, they are added into our on-demand portal. And families, this was our last Title I Family Advisory for the year. So a special thank you to our families who have been participating and joining along the way. All of our sessions have been tailored based on the feedback of our families and communities, and we greatly appreciate your engagement. So as we look to next year for any future sessions, be on the lookout for any topic selection or surveys, as we want to ensure that our content is meeting the needs of our families. A special thank you again to Trish Cloud, Dr. Daquita Pons, Kim Ray, and Principal Transcrude for presenting this evening and sharing such valuable information for our families as we approach those summer months. I hope that everyone has a wonderful evening. Thank you again for your engagement, and feel free to add any remaining questions to the chat at this time. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you at future Family Academy sessions or in future engagement opportunities. I hope you have a wonderful evening.